So a Venom solo film is almost upon us, starring Tom Hardy as the title character. Hype and curiosity surrounding this film is huge at the moment. The curiosity associated with this film is the peculiar position the film finds itself in. The character of Venom, being perhaps one of Spider-Man's most iconic foes, will be in a film without Spider-Man, and set in a film universe without the character's greatest antagonist, or protagonist. This is an unusual position for a supervillain to be in. Now there have been many superhero films in the past which haven't been able to share the silver screen with various other superheroes, X-Men and the Avengers being the prime example, but never has a supervillain been on screen whilst their superhero counterpart will be nowhere to be seen. So in this video I'm going to be discussing, in my opinion, how to write the character of Venom. Firstly, let's look into the character of Venom. For this video I'll only be discussing the Eddie Brock version of Venom, as this is the character we are getting in the upcoming film, and Eddie Brock is probably the most well-known version of Venom. Appearing in Amazing Spider-Man number 300 in 1988, the origin of how Eddie Brock became Venom is actually pretty much how Eddie Brock becomes Venom in Spider-Man 3. He goes to a church seeking solace, and while Spider-Man's on the roof detaching the symbiote from his body with the church bells, the symbiote chooses Eddie Brock, seeing his hatred for Spider-Man, and bonds with him. The character has gone through many changes over the years, with various writers having their own take on the character. Some writers seeing Venom as a villain, whilst others write Eddie Brock more of a tragic character and see Venom as an anti-hero. It is always very dependent on the story they want to tell with Spider-Man. So let's cast our attention to the Venom solo movie. Firstly, I want to discuss the new origin for Venom. The recent plot synopsis mentions Eddie Brock's / Venom's origin, stating, upon investigating one of Drake's experiments, the alien Venom merges with Eddie's body, and he suddenly has incredible new superpowers, as well as the chance to do just about whatever he wants. A new origin for the character, which ties in with the plot of the film. The origin of Venom has never been particularly iconic, and can be changed in ways to fit the plot of the story being told. The character of Venom is far more interesting than how Venom came to be. Tom Hardy's Venom, as stated in trailers, will be an anti-hero. An anti-hero being a central character in a story or film or drama who lacks conventional heroic attributes. Some famous comic book anti-heroes being Deadpool, the Red Hood and the Punisher. The Venom solo film appears to be playing on a Jekyll and Hyde aspect of the character. To write Venom correctly, there needs to be reason behind Eddie Brock seeking power. This film, from the looks of it, seems to be using Eddie's investigation into the Life Foundation as his reasoning for accepting the symbiote and becoming Venom. With gaining power, he'll be able to forcibly get into the Life Foundation and reach his goal of exposing them.
Tell me this, Einstein. Who could have wanted to steal Octavius' technology?
Ooh, we know!
Who?
The Submariner.
The Submariner? Get serious, will you?
The mighty Thor!
Are you out of your mind?
The major problem writers face when characterising Venom is turning him into a Hulk-like character with very little intelligence, and basically just write Venom to smash things and show off his exceptional power set. This is a trap I fear the Venom film may have fallen into. There appears to be a lot of smashy smash scenes with Venom, but these need context and not be showing Venom as simply one-dimensional. The point of Venom and Eddie Brock is they are not two singularities, they are actually joint, and their actions are made together, but someone is usually in control. Many writers don't use this aspect and separate both of them from one another, similarly to how Hulk and Bruce Banner work, with them being two different characters and each character not remembering the actions of the other one. This is where we come on to how to write the character of Venom and how I feel the character will be written correctly. The idea of Venom is that power corrupts people, and when presented with a substantial amount of power, people can lose themselves and their control, which is how the characters of Venom and Eddie Brock work. Like previously mentioned, it's easy to fall into the trap of when Eddie transforms into Venom, we now have a new character on screen who is a hulking beast that destroys anything in their path with minimal intelligence, when in fact Venom is an intelligent character. Let's not forget the symbiote is an alien and realises the fact humans crave power and is able to manipulate the host based on what their desire to use power is for. Venom needs to also have character distinctive aspects. The main character trait for Venom for me is arrogance, and when I say arrogance I mean due to the fact Venom realises it is maybe the most powerful creature on the planet and has disregard for humans and human life. Promisingly, the trailers have shown a distinction between the characters and appears to show Venom wanting Eddie Brock to be subservient to his power, while showing Eddie Brock is beginning to accept the power and is beginning to enjoy it. The story of Eddie Brock and Venom should be told as a tragic tale, with Eddie Brock being a meager man trying to do the right thing and becoming corrupted by mass power in order to reach his goal, while showing Venom as an intelligent, manipulative character who disregards human life. When Eddie Brock eventually does assume some control of the symbiote, this is where the anti-hero aspect comes into play. I feel this character can be played in similar vein to the Punisher, someone who does fight for good in his eyes but has questionable methods, i.e. killing criminals instead of locking them up.
This time, robbing an armored bank vehicle. An audacious move, even for one so criminally repugnant.
I think the key for this film to be successful will be nailing that distinction between the two characters of Eddie Brock and Venom and displaying how power can take control of a person and the fight Eddie faces gaining some control over a more powerful entity. Eddie shouldn't be able to fully overcome Venom's control by the end of this film, which I think is how the film may go in order to launch a Venom franchise, as Sony may worry a man who bites people's heads off is no way to launch a superhero franchise, and we could see Venom simply becoming a fully fledged superhero. For me, the film should end with Eddie not gaining full control over the symbiote, but more embracing it and being able to use this power for good, but while still having a blurred line between what's right and wrong, similar to Magneto or the Punisher, leaving the audience with a sense that the symbiote can still gain full control over Eddie, and there is always that battle going on between them. Now, it may seem from this video I have very little hope for the upcoming film, but that is not the case. From the trailers, it seems Ruben Fleischer has attempted to show Venom as a character in himself, as we see he does speak directly with Eddie and is trying to manipulate him in order to submit to his powers and allow him control. Compare this to Venom in Spider-Man 3, where the symbiote is simply shown as having no apparent characteristics. My only concern is that it's easy to fall into a trap with the character of Venom being written as a hulking, unintelligent beast, but I hope the character will be shown as the classic anti-hero presented in comics, while showing various villainous aspects of the character and staying very true to the source material. But we don't have to wait long now to see if Venom can be a successful character without the presence of the most iconic protagonist against Venom, Spider-Man. Thank you for watching.